Today we are discussing the management of general poisoning. In clinical practice, poisoning is usually an urgent condition. It is a child with a button battery missing from a remote control. It is an older adult found confused beside a cluster of pill bottles. It is the sharp chemical odor in a small bathroom with the door closed. In those first moments, what matters most is clarity, safety, and disciplined action. The management of general poisoning begins not with treatment, but with protection. Before you rush in, pause. Ensure the environment is safe. A rescuer, overcome by the same toxin, only compounds the emergency. Toxicology is unforgiving when exposure becomes cumulative. Next, assess the patient. Look deliberately for red flags, respiratory distress, altered mental status, seizures, emesis, perioral burns, or unexplained odors on the breath or clothing. These clues often speak before the patient can. If the individual is unconscious, apneic, seizing, or hemodynamically unstable, this is not a watch-and-wait scenario. Activate emergency medical services immediately. In the United States, that means dialing 911. If the patient is stable, Consultation with Poison Help hotline provides real-time toxicology guidance tailored to the exposure. One principle deserves emphasis. Do not induce vomiting. Syrup of ipecac has largely been abandoned because the risk of aspiration and additional mucosal injury frequently outweighs theoretical benefit. Gastrointestinal decontamination is a decision for clinicians, not bystanders. From there, management becomes exposure-specific. If the poison was ingested, remove any remaining material from the mouth. Do not administer ipecac and do not force emesis. Identify the substance, containers, pill bottles, product labels, because toxicology is profoundly dose and agent-dependent. In children who may have swallowed a button battery, time becomes tissue. An urgent radiograph is required to determine whether the battery is lodged in the esophagus. If it is, emergent removal is mandatory to prevent caustic injury and perforation. In suspected opioid overdose, pinpoint pupils, respiratory depression, decreased consciousness, administer naloxone, Narcan if available, and call emergency services, even if the patient awakens. Naloxone's duration may be shorter than that of the opioid involved. If exposure occurred on the skin, think in terms of dilution and removal. Don gloves, remove contaminated clothing, and irrigate the skin under running lukewarm water for 15 to 20 minutes. Avoid hot water. Vasodilation may enhance dermal absorption. Chemical burns often declare themselves gradually, so careful reassessment is essential. For ocular exposure, immediate irrigation is paramount. Flush the eye continuously with lukewarm water for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Remove contact lenses if present. Encourage blinking to ensure adequate distribution of irrigation fluid across the conjunctival surface. In ophthalmic toxicology, minutes matter. If the poison was inhaled, the intervention is conceptually simple but physiologically critical. Remove the patient from the source and bring them to fresh air. Improve ventilation by opening windows if safe to do so. Monitor respiratory effort closely. If the patient becomes unresponsive and apneic, initiate cardiopulmonary resuscitation according to current resuscitation guidelines. Throughout all scenarios, stay with the patient. Keep them calm and as still as possible to limit systemic absorption and physiologic stress. If unconscious but breathing, position them laterally in the recovery position to reduce aspiration risk. If the substance remains unknown, preserving emesis for analysis can assist in identification. When emergency responders arrive, concise, structured information improves outcomes. The suspected toxin, time of exposure, estimated amount, patient age and weight, and any first aid already administered. Toxicology is a discipline of detail. Precision informs antidote selection, monitoring strategies, and disposition. Immediate emergency activation is required for unconsciousness, respiratory compromise, seizures, or signs of cardiac arrest. For stable individuals, poison control specialists can determine whether home observation is safe or hospital evaluation is necessary. Poisoning management is not about improvisation. It is about disciplined, evidence-based response. In those tense first minutes, your composure, your adherence to principle, and your attention to physiologic priorities can transform chaos into coordinated care. And sometimes that is the difference between transient toxicity and irreversible harm. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.